go from here? You don't sound sincere.
I don't know how many people are going to watch this or listen to this, and I'm basically going to go on a little story. So I think at least like 5 years ago, I used to be in a Shadowrun game, like an actual pen and paper RPG one. For those of you who don't know, Shadowrun is and was basically like the quintessential cyberpunk. William M. Gibson up to the balls, and it's evolved along with real life. In the beginning, Shadowrun was like typical cyberpunk. Everyone had like stainless steel chrome limbs and guns were huge. And to go to like the Netscape, you actually had to plug in. And nowadays, like it's gotten the more ceramic, carbon, future tech feel. And wireless is a thing now, obviously. Now, I used to have a good gaming group that I used to play with in a place called the RP Haven in Lewisham. Little shout out there if anything else. Basically, we had known each other for quite some time. We started off gaming my friend Mr. Pink's house. Name's hidden to protect the innocent. And basically, we moved to the Haven, and we started the Shadowrun game, and it was run by a friend of ours. And I had just done reading a roleplay story about how a dude basically broke a Call of Cthulhu game with his character. To give you a concept of, for those who don't know, Call of Cthulhu basically has like a really brutal game system where your character is basically guaranteed to die or go mad at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and hoping that your character burns brightly before he goes out. Now, I read this amazing story, like look it up, Old Man Henderson. I read the story of how he absolutely broke the game and kind of won it, and that's something you don't do in that kind of game. The best you can hope for is that your character still has enough sanity left to feed himself afterwards. If that. Now, I was running through character concepts, and I wanted something that was interesting, but not completely attention-seeking, pants-on-head retarded. So, I effectively ended up looking through the rulebooks and the various armory books, and I put together a character called Johnny the Fat Man, in sort of quotations, Henderson, in honor of Old Man Henderson. And, wow. So I decided that I wanted to do something with explosives on this one. And that's never really a good idea. They always knew when explosives and me came into the mix, bad things happened, but they allowed it. So Johnny the Fat Man Henderson was an Irish bomb maker who worked for the Italian mafia, but basically ratted on them, and had a bionic arm, 2 bionic feet, and a few other bits and pieces. And his main method of attack was to basically lob throwing knives full of Semtex at people. Also, he had the most amazing apartment lair, which I'll get to in a minute. And his starting equipment, to give you an idea, you usually have like a starting budget, which you pay for like your rent, fake IDs, tools, weapons, ammunition, etc. My character started with about the equivalent of 100 grand's worth in explosives, stashed around various points in the city, like good shit, military grade Black Ops explosives. And his whole shillelagh was that he was still an independent bomb maker and demolitionist for hire. And this ended up really interesting because I literally did end up trying to solve everything with explosives. And that was his thing. That was his character. Onto his apartment. So I worked with my GM, and I handed him basically a sheet and a price. And I told him, this is what I want. So if you went into Johnny the Fat Man Henderson's main apartment, it was quite a nicely furnished area with like loads of tool workshops for his stuff, electronics, bomb making, blah, blah, blah. But the real trick was the home defense system. If you literally didn't either use the keypad to get in, or you weren't whistling Hey Jude when you went up the stairs, you had 20 seconds from the point where you opened the door. If you were still there in 20 seconds, the door would lock, LSD gas would basically, like super LSD gas would spray out the walls, a disco ball would drop from the ceiling, and hardcore like German dubstep would start playing. And after about 30 seconds, basically close to 25 pounds of Semtex would go off in the room behind the tool bins, creating like an explosive shape charge. and the walls and the ceiling were reinforced so that like there would be no fallout. And the GM was actually really bastardly about it because he made sure, like, he was like, so you're going up to your apartment, and I'd have to say, yeah, I'm whistling the fucking tune, otherwise he would have literally killed me. Now, that game went really weirdly, and I think somehow he ended up changing from a human to like a troll, and he literally like shit out his own arm because like his body rejected it, and he grew like a new one, and he got really fucking mad about it. But that scenario more or less ended at the point where during like a gunfight in a building lobby, he jerry-rigged an American football out of Semtex and ball bearings and like punted it into the lobby, but it didn't get through like a gap in the wall, so he went to pick it up and someone detonated it in his face like via remote connection. There was some stuff after that, but it kind of dropped off on like fun. But I will say this much: I was at a pub gig with my friend Mr. Pink, and I was telling this story to one of his friends, and he stopped me and he's like, holy shit, you're that guy. I've heard of you. You make fucking retarded ass choices on your character build, and somehow you make it fucking work. Not necessarily well, but you make it work. It's kind of odd to be famous for terrible decisions. Then again, I guess that's how people who have kids feel. C'est la vie. Anyway, that's pretty much my little gaming rant for a while. Like, comment, subscribe, do or don't. Have a lovely evening, I hope you guys enjoyed.
That I met you. I'm never gonna neglect you. My soul and my sweat too. But I'm afraid.